We back this time with full auto Tyrant sword, and it has been a while, but we got some decent debuffs and buffs this season. No need to stress out too much over the 90% healing, as we never really use healers on this fight to begin with. The minimum score to get to is 12k, and we will do our best to reach that. I've got two setups to show: a budget team made of farmable units, banner units, and units available through the new player selector, and an invested team for those with more resources. So let me show you what I got. Starting off, you're going to notice a couple of changes. We have Vivian, who is currently on banner. Now this is only a level 1 Vivian with a level 1 side skill. The side skill is attack speed, but 2% attack speed is not going to change too much here. The ship is Albion, and I'm using this because, well, as you see, the stealth is actually kind of nice. But the ship puts an 8% shield. I believe it's 8% if I remember correctly. But yeah, it puts a permanent shield on your team. And as long as they don't lose that shield, they keep it the entire time. Now, those little flying gnats aren't actually ever going to be able to break the shield, so we don't have to worry about that. So when we get yoinked here soon by the sword, all of our units will actually be protected by that. Plus, a Hilde with her reactor also puts another shield on top of them all. So they have two permanent shields to sit there and protect them from a lot of damage. And the lot of damage is those two swords, the first two swords that happen, right? So now if Zhao Lin doesn't get yoinked by the first sword, that's fine. She's going to get yoinked by the second sword and put her over, or not apparently. She's just amazing. But if she does get yoinked, she's going to get sent over to the rest of the team, and they're going to get stealth. And Jushun's coming out for the last sword, because in this position he'll be able to counter the sword before they actually hit your team over there. Now the stealth on the team is actually pretty well timed, so if you do end up losing your units, your front line, the boss will actually ignore all those units over there in the corner and, you know, continue walking forward, and then your front line will end up spawning in, as you can see here, and you won't have to sit there and worry about losing all your DPS, and then your snipers will just get to, you know, have a free time to DPS. Unfortunately, both our awakens did, you know, kind of fall off, but that's fine. All we need is snipers for this fight. For the budget team, we are running Albion as a ship and Vivian as the operator. For gear, we are running Zhao Lin on anti-striker gear and anti-ground. Neo, well, same thing, as much anti-striker and as anti-ground as we can get. Hilde, I am running CDR because we need to get as many shields as possible. The more CDR, the better. Same for Yang, we need as many shields as possible, so we want to sit there and have as much CDR. Yumina, we are going to be running anti-striker with anti-ground. You can sit there and run some A-speed gear or just straight anti-striker gear. Same for Warden, we're just going to sit there and run anti-striker and anti-ground. And then for Dorothy, you can go for damage on her with anti-striker damage, you know, with anti-ground, or you can go A-speed, sit there and get more buffs, though the buffs really only gives you A-speed. So Jushyun, I am running on full CDR gear. Depending on your mods, you might want to actually go HP. He only really gets one counter off, so you could sit there and try to run him on damage as well. Either which way, it really doesn't matter. He doesn't really do much outside of his counter. Alright, I've finally found a use for Felix here. She's in DC for that matter. She's actually she's pretty good on this fight. Not gonna lie. I mean, she's not the greatest, because as the the units get killed by the special, it does reset the special, so that is a little counterintuitive. But on CDR, even with minus 40% from the mods, she's able to spam a ton of frontline that will stop the boss for a moment. And stopping the boss from getting closer to units is always a great thing. Now, unfortunately, this does mean your Horizon might take a little bit more damage, and you know, that's unfortunate, but is what it is. Plus, we also get a bunch of, you know, little extra help from the DPS from the little ads that she deploys. Now, Courian's going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting. As you can see, we don't have a ton of DPS, so keeping him alive is probably the most important thing, but he does have stability, the Origin buff this season, so he's going to be able to take a few hits and be okay. Now, a Chifu actually getting yoinked is great because it turns this ult around, and it would have been nice if our Swan got her ultimate off, but it's fine because really I only brought her in for those 2 special that she does, which puts a permanent damage amp onto the boss, so it allows us to do a lot more damage. Now, with Spencer and our Vivian proc, we're actually going to chunk the boss with the special right here, getting us through the last sword, and then we can sit there and just take our sweet time finishing this off. And I was not kidding about Courian doing all the heavy lifting. The invested team, we're running Matador as the ship, Vivian as the operator. For Felix, we are going with as much skill haste as we can put onto her. Want her spamming her soldiers. For Courian, we are going anti-striker damage with anti-ground. Horizon, we're just going with a basic tank set, anti-ground res, crit damage res. And then for Swan, we want her to get her specials off, so we're going to be running full CDR. Chifu is also going to be using full CDR because we want her to get her ulti off before she dies. Warden, we're actually running a Blaze set here, but anti-striker will work just as well. And then for Spencer, we're running CDR. We're hoping we can get as many specials as we can out. And then for Dorothy, you could actually run some more damage gear. I'm just going with the A speed gear because I'm lazy and don't want to take the gear off her. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope this helps you get the minimum score this season. You know what? This has been a nice break from Mavka and Solovy. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're feeling extra special, you can join the Mage Institute by clicking the join button. Catch me on Discord, link is in the description. And if you want to help support this channel, there's a link in the description for that too. As always, I will see you all next time.